Good evening and welcome to the regular City Council meeting for the City of St. Peter, Minnesota. It is Monday, May 12th, 2025. At 7 p.m. we are called to order. Would all please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone should have received a copy of the agenda. Are there any revisions or corrections to the agenda as distributed? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is approved. The minutes appear on pages 4 through 6 of the packet. Are there any revisions or corrections to the minutes as distributed? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. We have time for visitor comments on our agenda. Are there any visitors who'd like to address the council on any agenda item? Hearing none, we also have time for general visitor comments. Is there a visitor who'd like to address the council on any matter whatsoever? Hearing none, we will move on to the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda begins on page 7 of the packet and concludes with a resolution that appears on pages 27 through 29 of the packet. This week's consent agenda includes the following licenses. It is a lengthy list, and so I will not read them. However, the categories are temporary on-sale liquor, temporary show, a peddler permit, on sale, off sale, Sunday, wine, 3-2 off-sale beer, 3-2 on-sale beer, and brewer off-sale malt liquor. All of these are printed for the names of the businesses, the location, and the time periods within the packet. The following employee appointments shall be made: Perry Solheim as Finance Director at the wage and the conditions listed within the packet on page 28. And the following employee appointments, I will not read the full list of names. We have numerous seasonal workers, including park rangers, lifeguards, cashiers, and other appointments. The names, titles, and wages are listed within the packet. The consent agenda includes the removal of 2 parking stalls and installation of 2 no parking anytime signs at 229 Broadway, and the schedule of disbursements for April 24th, 2025 through May 7th, 2025. Is there any discussion of any consent agenda item? Hearing no discussion, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Rand.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Bettis.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We have no items of unfinished business tonight. Our first item of new business is the school resource officer agreement.
Madam Mayor, members, this agreement comes in front of you after a couple of discussions that the council has held and also a joint meeting that you had with the school board to discuss this and many other items of cooperation, collaboration, and joint interest. This would be for a 2-year contract, essentially for the next 2 school years, so ending at the end of the 2027 school year. This agreement provides for 1 SRO officer under the same financial terms that you've had in the past. There's only one really slight modification to this agreement as compared to the last agreement, or what you might call the current agreement that we're in right now, and that relates to data and access to data. Really, this change is trying to keep us within line in language that is used within the state law for access to data. Again, Mayor and members, the contract's included in your packet, as is a resolution providing for approval of the agreement. I would anticipate, and based on the discussion that I had with the interim school superintendent, Jeff Olson, the school district is likely to take this item up at their next board meeting, which I believe will be next week.
All right. Questions for Todd or any further discussion? We have discussed this at a few meetings, as you mentioned, so it is not new to any of us. If there isn't any discussion, is there a motion to approve the resolution entering a contract with School District 508 for school resource officer service for the 2025 through 2027 school year?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharpstra.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Rand.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, Jefferson Square vacation. And
Yeah,
You-
Mayor and members,
okay.
your city attorney is providing the staff report on this, and so I'll turn it over to Jim.
Thank you. We've discussed this at length in the past. Basically, what happened back in the 1850s, the property was transferred from the United States government to the judge of St. Peter at the time, Chatfield. Chatfield signed it over to St. Peter Company, which was a company designed through the United States government for distribution of land in that plat. Part of the plat developed Jefferson Square, which was dedicated for public purposes to the public, which would be the city. So what's happened over the years is, first, the railroad ran through the eastern portion of that Jefferson Square. Back in 1960, back in the early 60s, the railroad ceased operations and sold its interest in the railroad to Mr. Komatz. Mr. Komatz brought a quiet title action, and the court awarded him judgment on that quiet title action. I looked at it, there was no comment or anything in the court's order about the public square, but it was approved, so that's been in place for now over 60 years. And since then, at the 122 feet of West Jefferson Square was reserved. That was not given to Komatz. For many years, the city ran a water well plant on that part of the square. That plant was decommissioned and sealed in 2010. The city found it no longer had a use for it and got water from now on St. Julian and on Broadway. Since 2010, the place has been vacant. There is little going on there. There's a little public purpose to it. It's one public purpose that I could think of would be as a park. It's pretty small for a park, plus the city does have adequate park spaces at Stones Way Park and South Elementary, so there really isn't a need for the park. The theory that's going to be, that if you approve this, my theory will be that when it was dedicated in trust for the city. The trust purpose has now, it's not there anymore. The city's not getting a benefit from that property, so it will be appropriate for the court to grant the city the ability to sell the property and dedicate it for a public use. Since we are short of funds for O'Gorman Park, to me, I would recommend that the city look at using proceeds to assist in funding Gorman Park, which would be a public purpose, and it would be similar to the only available public purpose that the land would have. That would be my argument, and so we've, the next item on the agenda is that we do have a person that's or company that's willing to develop the property. I think also obtaining more housing in the area would serve the public better than a vacant lot. So the request is that you accept the resolution, give me authority to proceed, and we'll proceed. Questions?
thank you. It's fascinating history that you've kind of uncovered, yeah.
It is, and what's difficult about this is when we vacate streets, they go half and half because the street is laid out over the plat. So Yeah, but here there's no, St. Peter Company just simply is no longer in existence. So it's not like we could give it back to them and they could then dedicate it for public purposes. So that's the theory, and I feel strongly about the theory that we'll succeed on it.
Any questions or further discussion?
Madam Mayor, if I could ask Ben a question related to this. So Ben, if you wouldn't mind coming up. So I know you've been involved in this, and the council, we're asking the council to take action in an upcoming agenda item. But if a development would occur on this property, it has to meet like all the development rules, like green space and setbacks and all of those kind of things. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. So we have looked at the next agenda item and the offer that's proposed. And so as a staff, we look at, setbacks, lot coverage, all the development regulations, lot sizes and that nature.
Okay, all right, thank you. So Madam Mayor, the resolution's included in the council packet on page 42.
All right, seeing no questions or further discussion, the resolution finding that the west 22 feet of Jefferson Square no longer serves a public purpose, authorizing the city attorney to file a district court action requesting the court to vacate the west 122 feet of Jefferson Square and allow the city, as trustee of the public grounds, to sell said tract and, in satisfaction of its duties as a trustee, use the proceeds for a public purpose, to wit, improve Gorman Park. Appears on page 42.
I'll make a motion with one minor change to the resolution that we correct resolution finding that the west 122 feet of Jefferson Square.
We have a.
And then where we have west 122 feet corrected to 122 feet.
All right, we have.
So I'll make a motion to approve it with those two minor changes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to the revised resolution. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember
Sorry.
Sharpster.
I was gonna say, as I'm an attorney and to avoid conflicts, I will be abstaining from this since we are directing legal action and just for an overabundance of caution to not potentially raise any sort of legal conflict.
All right.
Councilmember Sharpster.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Rand.
Aye.
Did I say aye?
Did you? Mayor Noel.
Aye.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We all get a turn. It's only fair. Do we get everybody?
We need you on this one, by the way.
You are needed.
And Council Member
And Councilmember
Weisenfeld
Weisenfeld.
indicated an abstention. All right. That said, the resolution is approved, and our next item of new business is a South Washington purchase agreement, and Ben is here to talk to us about that.
Thank you, Mayor Noel and members of the council. So back in 2009, 2010, the city of St. Peter did construct a new water treatment plant on Broadway. Once that new plant was online, the old water treatment plant, this is kind of piggybacking off of our last agenda item, at 1225 South Washington Avenue, was decommissioned and demolished. Since that time, that site, which is about 3/4 of an acre, has been vacant as open space, serving no real significant benefit, as Jim had mentioned earlier. Over the years, the city has attempted to advertise the land for sale and entice developers and builders to purchase the site for residential development. It is surrounded by mostly residential development right now. In 2022, the city did receive an offer from a quality developer, but the negotiation and the process for that did fizzle out. So in March of this year, we did receive a new offer from Adam Hiras, for the vacant property here at 1225 South Washington Avenue. And it is, his offer is shown in pictures kind of on the following pages. I don't know if Todd wants to show you that, but what it's gonna do is potentially develop into 4 buildings or 8 units. So there would be 4 twin homes, and they would be walkouts. So they'd have a walkout garage due to the sloping nature of that lot. Those would have 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. They'd have a covered front porch along Washington Avenue, an attached 2-stall garage, and then everything would funnel out the back into the brand new Pine Street. So Adam is looking to partner with Fox Valley Construction on this project. They have or currently are underway on a project on Essler Street. Those would be the 2 duplexes and the triplex currently under construction and listed for sale. So it is anticipated, in anticipation of the housing project, last year with the Pine Street project, new sidewalks were put in along both Washington and Pine Street, and then new sewer and water stubs and stormwater were sent in the back along the east side, paving the way for this project. So attached is the purchase agreement. The purchase price for this would be based off of $1.88 a square foot. So that does include the land and the assessments that are for Pine Street project. The developers have both signed the purchase agreement that's attached. If approved, the city, school district, and county would benefit by them all receiving new property tax. We're not receiving any property tax off of those right now. There'll also be monthly utility fees that would be generated in electric, sewer, and water. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thanks very much, Ben. Any questions for Ben? Hearing no questions, the resolution entering into a purchase agreement with ALH Land Company and Fox Valley Property LLC for the city-owned land at 125 South Washington Avenue appears on pages 63 and 64 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Last item of new business tonight, 2110 Klein Street purchase agreement. And Ben's right back to talk to us about
All
that.
right. Thank you, Mayor Noel and members of the council. So over the last 23 years, the North Industrial Park, kind of between Klein Street and Sunrise on the north end of town, has filled with many types of uses. It's more of a mixed-use business park, including healthcare facilities, assisted senior housing, and industrial manufacturing. The city was really proactive last year. The Planning Commission and Council in 2024, kind of the spring and summer, approved a plat, the North Industrial Park Subdivision Number 3, which paved the way for 4 new lots based on 4 developments that we were anticipating coming. And those 4 developments would be a multifamily residential on Lot 1. On Lot 2, which is the purchase agreement that's tonight, would be convenience or mini storage. And then on Lot 3, which was approved not too long ago, was for the commercial office storage. And then Lot 4 would be the indoor agriculture. About a month ago, we got a letter of intent from Jesse Lager Construction for the offer on 2110 Klein Street, which is the subject property, and that would be for convenience or mini storage. This project is geared to serve the community and its ever-growing need for more storage space. If approved and all the permits were given, this project would most likely start in August or potentially September, along with the other project on Lot 3 this summer. So this did go to closed session here at the end of April, and the city attorney was directed to create a purchase agreement. The purchase agreement is attached. This purchase price would be $1.37, which would be the exact same price as Lot 3 that was approved not too long ago. So that does include the original North Industrial Park square footage plus the assessments for storm water going towards the north and the new regional pond that'll be built at the end of Klein Street. So once the land transfers, the city will no longer have to pay property tax. The city's actually paying property tax on that land right now because of all the years that have gone by. And then hopefully we'll be generating new property taxes with the new development. There would be no sewer and water proposed for this, but there will be electrical use, so thus a monthly electrical fee and bill will go for this property as well. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. There are a few attachments, some pictures and maps showing what the project will look like here in the future.
All right, thanks very much, Ben. Any questions? or discussion? Hearing nothing, the resolution entering into a purchase agreement with Logger Construction for the city-owned land at 2110 Klein Street appears on page 70 through 71 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye. The resolution is approved. Thanks so much, Ben. That concludes our new business for tonight. We will move on to reports. I have no reports at this time except to report, it feels like summer and isn't that great? So follow the chamber website, follow the city recreation department website, follow the ambassador's website if you want to know about all the great events that happen in St. Peter over the summer. I guess that was a report. So there you go. Council members, any reports from council members? About our city administrator?
Madam Mayor, I have no additional report for you this evening.
All right, well, in that case, is there a motion to adjourn? All those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.